documents and you realize that the Administrator General did not do her job, because in the court documents there are allegations of fraud. Because if the court said to when New Falmouth claimed that they bought the land, that Mr. Abrams bought the land for them in 1967, and the lawyers for Mr. Jobson said there were no receipts to show that money was paid, clearly that's a red flag. And then when the company now, New Falmouth, go and get a letter from their lawyer, a letter that was not signed by the deceased or New Falmouth, and the court turned around and threw out the son's claim, it stands to reason when you find out who is behind New Falmouth, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes that this has been happening under the Jamaica Labour Party since the time of Hugh Shearer. Because
shed some light on the ratification, Michelle.
How can a company that was not formed pretty much until 1974, because when you check the documentation for New Falmouth, the records show that this business was not established in Jamaica until 1974. But yet ground was broken back for the project, which was backed by this company in 1968. So if it was in 1968, the project was an idea and you, Lawson Shearer, broke ground for that project, but the business itself was not set into place until 1974. How then could they have purchased the land from 1967? Make it make sense. But the gentleman died in 1980. So if they bought the land in 1967, according to them, why did it take years until after the man died for them to come out now and say they bought the land from him? Why wasn't it taken to court while the gentleman was alive? And the Administrator General should, if they're still alive, should be in prison. Because even in the court document, it lists breach of trust, fraud, because the sons allege that the letter that New Falmouth eventually turned up and showed to the court as proof of an agreement, that letter was fraudulent. So how could the judges rule against the children of this man? And why is it that when the judge ruled once and the sons filed an appeal, why were the sons not notified of the date for the appeal to go to court? Because the sons are saying in court documents that they got no notification, and according to the Administrator General, she's saying that she gave them notification. So as a result of them not appearing in court on the day of the appeal, the judge threw out the appeal.
And where was the evidence to prove that they notified the kid?
Exactly. So all of this, when I go now and I find out that this state who this family is for those who just come, so them understand where I'm going here. So the Phelan family of Texas is a prominent multi-generational business and political dynasty rooted in Beaumont and Southeast Texas. Their commercial real estate and investment heritage traces back to early 20th century pioneer John Henry Phelan Sr. The family is best known today through Dade Phelan, who serves as the Speaker of the Texas House of Representatives, and via their fourth generation firm, Phelan Investments. This is the company, here it is, New Falmouth Resorts was incorporated as a corporate vehicle for the Texas resident Phelan family to conduct real estate business and hold over 1,000 acres of prime land in Trelawney, Jamaica. So, and this goes back all the way to 1967. But it is in 1 minute they want to say that they were created in 1967, yet there was no evidence to show that they were created in 1967. Because when when the ground was broken for the resort for the resort and the village complex hotels and villas, Jamaican Prime Minister Hugh Shearer broke ground for the new Falmouth Resort project on May 10th, 1968. So how is it then? And it says New Falmouth Resorts Limited is a private landholding and development company registered in Jamaica that was active by the early 1980s. With formal corporate transaction and land agreement recorded as early as February 1982, tied to historical tourism initiatives in Trelawney that began around 1968, because 1968 was when Hugh Lawson Shearer broke ground for the projects, because the whole idea for them was to have all of this land so they could build 17 hotels, how much resorts, international cafes, and all of these things. So when they went to court for any judge to have ruled in their favor, because if the father gave people permission to live on the property and their families, offspring stayed there after they died and continued to live there, they have been living there for more than 50 years. So how could a man who claimed that he occupied the land only for 12 years be overlooked, be granted permission to get the land and overlook the people that were on that property? And it's just 9 acres that the people were on for over 50 years. And now it is understandable why when the Honorable Portia Simpson Miller administration attempted to compulsory acquire approximately 9 acres of private owned lands at Cooper's Bay in Orange Grove in Trelawney, Jamaica, through the Housing Ministry and the Housing Agency of Jamaica around 2012, the court dismissed it. The legal effort to acquire the property to regularize the informal settlers' squatters involved formal technical descriptions prepared in May 2012 and subsequent court interventions, which ultimately failed when the Supreme Court and Court of Appeal ruled against the state's compulsory acquisition strategy. So they ruled against it because they know that the Jamaica Labour Party government from Hugh Lawson Shearer's days had made a promise to these people to get the land them so that this company, this rich family in Texas, could go ahead and do what they want to do. This is part of the reason why Andrew Holness has placed the land agency under his portfolio. But I am going to land there for now and give Headboy a chance to speak, because I know so when him come, him always come with something important.
Big up yourself. Mark Golden and the team went to the Demolition side. They were there. With you see piece of that, and what they are talking about. Brad, please send the documents to Michelle. I was trying to forward the documents to her. I don't know why, because and so others I was having the same problem like you this morning in terms of coming up in the box and so forth. But boy, we can't skip past extreme because you actually live,
Dballa, Michelle and Extreme. Let me tell you something. If I were to recommend anybody for a national award or honors, I would give it to you all. You know why? Uno a beat, uno a teach, uno a beat, uno a teach, uno a beat, and uno a teach. But I am not a good singer, but I have a song for Andrew Holness and the company.
Yeah.
Andrew Holness and what the one named Tova? Andrew Holness and Tova is a damn blasted liar. Yeah? You remember that song that Michelle was said Christopher Columbus is a blasted liar?
Yes, sweetheart, I remember.
You know, one of the things where hurt me the most, Michelle, I said it today, and I know you would agree with me. And I said it earlier, and they could have they could have her. Andrew Holness as a strategy. They knew what was going to happen.
Thank you.
The playbook was over Bernard Lodge. Yeah? And ISAT revealed something to us yesterday what we never know. Because I didn't realize that the people over Bernard Lodge had gotten back a place, from the government. Yeah? So what it is the playbook. You demolish people, you run off people off a land, and then you go over there now and say, oh, I am so sorry to see what have happened to you. In fact, we have some land in Clarkstown, but because, by the way, all of the land in Clarkstown is owned by SCJ Owens. So what they're going to do? Move the people down to Clarkstown, give them some container homes temporary, and promise to build them some homes. But no homes will be built. Mark my word as I tell you. But you know one of the things where I'm really looking at, and it is really mind-boggling. And I thank you for the research, Michelle, because I was not able to connect the dots until you spoke early on. Because when I looked at the company, New Falmouth, it is registered. It's a Florida-based company. Am I right, Michelle? So what do you do? Because I remember that's my specialty. When you come on to offshore, that's why they can't play with me. Because I know rich people hide money. You see, Florida is the best place to hide money. I'm pick up my box and respond.
Hold on. Headboy, yeah, break up. Repeat now.
Brat, me follow you. Sorry, the Headboy. Me follow you, and then maybe because me not follow you or you not follow me or whatever, why me can't get any message. Me follow your sister, and then see if you can send me that message.
Okay.
All right, me follow you back, Brad. See if you can send it now.
Headboy, did I break up a while ago? When say my land there, sir? Headboy said
that must have gone with him phone, so he must go come back. Yes, they are from Texas. Yes, bro, they are from Texas.
Extreme. I know, Michelle. But I think I want your address. I make it very simple because some people head big but hollow. Some people are complaining say a private land. So they capture people private land. Still not even knowing say.
Me hear.
Still not even knowing say there are laws that govern. But owning, or whatever I call it, but we can't use the same term for everybody.
But here is the argument, Bolo.
Yeah.
Yes, it was private land that was owned by Gilbert Jobson. But years ago, Gilbert Jobson gave persons who were living on the property permission to live on the property.
Hold on, Brad. She said she just follow your back, so try to send it to her now, but
I don't know what
me can't forward it. Try to send it again, Brad.
But me and your friend, you can't forward that to me either?
Lord have mercy, no one you have to get them and sit now. At least I told them.
Brad, if you not get it, me send you the link.
Shall I try again?
If you not get it, me try send you the link to my Facebook. Gave the people permission to live on the land. There are generations of family on that land. For example, one young lady I spoke to yesterday, when I asked her how long has she lived there, she said 2 years, but her brother and
the document said no, Michelle, so when I finish, check it.
All right, sweetheart, thanks. Her brother and her uncle have lived there for years. The gentleman that called in from England said he was born on the property and lived there until he was 35 years old when he left Jamaica and went to England. He is now 59. he also stated that his family members still live on the land. So this argument that people are running with about squatting or not, the people got permission to live on the land. So people who get permission from the owner to live on the land cannot be called squatters. Let us get that out there right now.
Simple.
Here is where the problem come in. And this is where questions need to be asked. The argument has come in that due to court documents, New Falmouth, which is now, tell a person if I'm mute now, which is now a shadow, which we now understand is a shadow company for this multi-billionaire family in Texas by the name of Phelan, one of them who is a state representative for the Republican Party. The gentleman who owned the property did not die until 1980. It was after the gentleman died, the gentleman left 21 minor children. The oldest one was 12. So it was the job of the Administrator General then to make a trust for the kids where the land was concerned so that when they got older, they could take control of their father's property. The Administrator General did not do so. Somewhere, somehow, the kids eventually found out that New Falmouth Company was trying to take ownership of their father's property. So they took New Falmouth to court. The argument that New Falmouth came with in court is that Mr. Cecil Abrams bought the property on their behalf from the deceased, which is the kid's father, in 1967.
Tap up the screen there, please. Tap up the screen. Share the live if you're not following, please to follow the page. Thank you.
When the judges in the case said, okay, if you bought the property, we need to see the receipts so that we know the property was bought and paid for. However, when the court submitted that request to the deceased lawyer said there's no such receipt. But here is the twist. Because if a transaction did take place, not only should the deceased lawyer have receipts to substantiate, but the New Falmouth, Mr. Chisholm, they should have a copy of the receipt that they paid the money also.
Precisely.
They did not have any copy. No copy was forthcoming from the deceased lawyers. So what New Falmouth did was to go, since them couldn't prove so them buy the land, they went to their lawyers and got a letter from their lawyers stating that there was an agreement between them and the deceased. What is not making sense here is that for that letter to have held up in court, there should have, as an agreement, the letter should have had the signature of the deceased and the signature of New Falmouth Company or Mr. Chisholm. The letter did not have neither. Under that premise, the kids stated that the letter that was presented in court to justify New Falmouth's assertion that they bought the land was fraudulent, which common sense dictates it is. And as a result of the letter, what the judge and the court on the case granted possession of the property to New Falmouth based on the letter, which that don't make sense either, right? The kids also took the Administrator General to court for breach of trust and let me see if we can find it. But one of the issue was breach of trust, meaning that, okay, Dimitri Jobson, which is the oldest son, made a claim to strike out the claim that the land, this was in 2016, and the judge in this case was Justice Kirk Anderson. So Dimitri made a claim to strike down the judge's order that based on the letter, the land belonged to New Falmouth. The application said, the application sought to strike out the claim that legal principles be applied, that there was abuse of process, and the claim seeks release for alleged negligence pertaining to administration of the deceased estate, whether remedy for breach of trust can properly be pursued as a negligence claim. Section 39 and 40 of the Administrators General Act, failure to comply with duties of trustee, meaning the Administrator General did not do her job as a trustee to ensure that the land was placed in trust for the minor children until they got older to take control of it. Knowingly, the Administrator General and New Falmouth both were on the same side in this matter. So the question is, not the question, the reality is that the trustee, New Falmouth, the Jamaica Labour Party, the courts, the judges in the court were all working together. Because it made no sense that a judge or judges is going to see a letter. First of all, what is amazing to me, they only sought copies of receipt from the deceased lawyer. They did not ask the New Falmouth for their copy of the receipt. Makes no sense. And when the letter was presented, they did not seek to say, well, there is no signature of the deceased on the letter. Or signature from New Falmouth. So that is why the kids allege that the letter was fraudulent, which common sense dictated it was.
Simple.
So this issue
is showing that there are corruption and there have been corruption in the justice system.
There you go. There you go. And I have stated, and I will state again, that the Administrator General and those judges should be placed behind bars if they are still alive, because this is a breach. This is an absolute breach.
I am 95.
I don't even know if they're alive, because this has been going on for some time, right? And when you find out that New Falmouth itself was just a shadow company working on behalf of the Phelan family of Texas, who are billionaires, who sought, for those who are coming, let me read again what it says about New Falmouth as it relates to their seeking. Because this thing has been going on for 20 or more years, right? New Falmouth sought, the Phelan family of Texas incorporated New Falmouth Resorts as a shadow company, as a corporate vehicle for the Texas resident Phelan family to conduct real estate business and hold over 1,000 acres of prime land in Trelawney, Jamaica. And it goes on and on and on and on. So when you begin to understand who exactly is behind the Phelan company, behind the New Falmouth Resort Limited, then you understand why Tova can say it's a private company that ordered the police and whoever to go and do what they did, because money changed hands.
Yeah.
Me call them thief already, sure, and if you don't like it, you can leave the life. Me say, when me say, whether you like it or not, is neither here and there. They are thieves, period. Now, if when we see when Dennis Meadows went down there and Dennis Meadows came and spoke, Dennis Meadows said the operation that he saw was well planned. There was helicopters in the sky and police from Era one.
And the private people, them powerful Michelle, man.
Exactly, all over, right? All over. So when and Dennis Meadows also stated that when he spoke to the bailiff, and this was the head bailiff, I think he said, the bailiff told him that Tova Hamilton knew 2 weeks prior to the day of the demolition that it was going to happen. But not only that, Cadet Saunders, who either claims to be a police officer or a soldier, I don't know which one.
He was a police officer, but he was there.
He came on Balla's life the very day it was going on and said that he was the one who served Tova Hamilton with the...
Hold on there. Miss Sharon said my husband lives there and he never got a letter or notice. Okay. So who got the letter? Who got the letter or the notice, Miss Sharon?
But wait, but here is something that is missing, because if notice had been given, then it should have been in the paper. Notice should have been posted in the area. None of that was done. But when Tova Hamilton is saying
he lived there for 25 years.
Okay, so there you go. All right, Miss Sharon. So if Tova Hamilton is coming with, because Mr. Meadows said he got there before her, only if she turn up hours after with a book and pen for write down people's name. Right? So because her argument when she came out was to try to discredit what Dennis Meadows said, but there's no reason that Dennis Meadows would have to lie. None. Because Dennis Meadows could not have said that the bailiff told him that she knew, and then go put himself in a trouble for the bailiff come say a lie ma tell. So Dennis Meadows was not telling a lie. The liar here is Tova Hamilton. She knew. She knew.
But you know, Auntie Michelle, I want to tell you something, and I don't want to mash up the program.
No, man, go ahead.
I don't want to mash up the program. But you see that Tova Hamilton, you Tova, you come right to the front of the class. I now come with no pretty talk, phone. Colin Gager, right? You and Tova come to the front of the class, and emphasis on Colin Gager. Yeah? You see them? Them is a set of wicked people. They knew, because any demolition order that is coming is governed under the Town and Country Planning Act.
Let me read something in regard. When you finish, I have something in regard.
No,